Each fall, every cow-calf operation wants to know if they've got enough hay to get them through the winter. From past experiences and perhaps a little bit of calculation, most ranchers have to make that determination as they go into the fall and winter months. I thought on today's Cow-Calf Corner we'd spend just a little time going through some of the details of the calculations we might make to see if we think we've got enough hay stored up for this upcoming winter season. We know, for instance, that beef cows, the ones that are pregnant, going to calve next spring, will consume on the average about 2% of their body weight each day of a pretty good quality grass hay, something like 8% crude protein. Okay, 2% of a 1,200 pound cow equates to 24 pounds of hay on a dry matter basis that we expect that cow to be able to consume if that's the only available roughage that she has. Now, when I said dry matter, that was an important point because the hay that we're going to feed is not 100% dry matter. Even though it's been stored, it's still got some moisture in it. And the range is pretty wide as to what it might be, someplace between 7 and perhaps 15%. Let's use an average of about 8% moisture for this grass hay. When we do the calculation, that means that that cow that was consuming 24 pounds per head per day now needs 26 pounds of the hay on an as-fed basis, or as we would just take it out to the pasture. Now, unfortunately, that's not where the story ends, because any of us that's fed cattle in the wintertime knows that there's going to be some hay wastage. And again, that can be quite variable depending upon the feeding method that we use. It can vary, research says, from as low as about 6% to as high as 20% or more. If we got 15% wastage, then we need to move that average amount of hay that we need to take out to those pregnant cows up to right at 30 pounds on an as-fed basis. So now we can get an idea of the calculations that we may need to make to decipher if we're going to have enough hay to get us through the winter. Another factor to keep in mind is once these cows calve next February and March, then we know that they can consume even more hay as lactating beef cows. And it'll go up from that 30 that we needed to carry out to about 36 pounds per head per day for the lactating cow after she's calved. So now we start to do the figuring as to how many days that we think we need to have hay available for those cows to consume to get them through the winter. If we're going to have one of those rougher winters where we need to feed them nothing but hay and their supplement for 60 days, now we can do the calculation. If it's 30 pounds per head per day times 60 days, we can see that for each cow we need 1,800 pounds, or basically 1.5 of each one of these big round bales. Then after calving, they're going to need 36 pounds of this hay going out each day. And if we need to do that for March and April and into a little bit of May, again, we could have another 60 days of hay feeding. And at this point in time, then that number goes up to something in excess of 1.5, maybe 1 2/3 more bales that we need per cow, to where as we look through the whole winter, it may come out to we need 3 or more big round bales per cow to make sure that we have enough hay to get through the winter. Every situation is different. You may have some wheat pasture you use as a supplement. Perhaps you're going to feed more in terms of supplement than you do hay. All of those things come into the picture. But this gives you an idea of how you might go about calculating whether you have enough hay to make sure that these cows have enough feed to get through this upcoming winter. Hey, we look forward to visiting with you again next week on Sunup's Cow-Calf Corner.